South Africa is no stranger to migration waves, but the current exodus of Afrikaners has been described as one of the most telling signals of discontent since the dawn of democracy in 1994. For years, concerns about rising crime, political instability, unemployment, and policies perceived as discriminatory have pushed many white South Africans, particularly Afrikaners, to pack their bags in search of stability abroad. Today, this phenomenon has escalated into what many analysts are calling the Afrikaner Exodus Crisis. At the center of it all lies one burning question: can President Cyril Ramaphosa do anything to stop the bleeding and win them back? For decades, Afrikaners have played a complex role in South Africa's political, economic, and cultural landscape. From their dominance during the apartheid regime to their redefined place in the new democratic era, their story is intertwined with the broader South African journey. Yet, as waves of immigration intensify, South Africa risks losing not only skilled professionals but also a significant segment of its cultural and economic contributors. The Exodus crisis is not just about race, it is about brain drain, national identity, and the growing frustration with the ruling African National Congress, ANC. Reports suggest that tens of thousands of Afrikaners have left the country in the past decade, with the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and the Netherlands ranking as top destinations. The reasons are multi-layered. Rising violent crime has instilled deep fear in many households. Economic insecurity, coupled with load shedding, corruption scandals, and a faltering rand, has created a climate of hopelessness. At the same time, affirmative action and black economic empowerment (BEE) policies, though designed to correct historical injustices, have left many Afrikaners feeling excluded from opportunities in the job market. For President Ramaphosa, this presents a major political dilemma. On the one hand, he must remain committed to the ANC's historical mission of redress and transformation. On the other hand, he risks presiding over a country losing thousands of its most skilled professionals, teachers, doctors, engineers, and entrepreneurs, individuals who could otherwise contribute to growth and innovation. The Afrikaner Exodus is not just symbolic, it has tangible consequences for South Africa's economic stability and global competitiveness. Critics argue that Ramaphosa has been slow to act, offering little reassurance to Afrikaners who feel increasingly marginalized. His government has maintained its stance on land reform without compensation, a policy that remains deeply unsettling for farmers and landowners who fear dispossession. Meanwhile, the ANC has struggled to root out corruption within its own ranks, leading to perceptions of double standards, a government that enforces strict racial quotas in the private sector but shields its own politicians from accountability. Yet, not all hope is lost. Analysts suggest that if Ramaphosa truly wants to win back Afrikaner trust, he must focus on three critical areas. First, crime and security. Without restoring a sense of safety, no amount of policy reform will convince families to stay. Second, economic inclusivity. This does not mean abandoning transformation but finding a balance that allows every skilled South African, regardless of race, to see a future in the country. Finally, genuine reconciliation. Ramaphosa has often positioned himself as a bridge builder, but many Afrikaners feel his speeches have not translated into concrete protections or opportunities. Some Afrikaner community leaders have already expressed willingness to work with the government on agriculture, investment, and cultural preservation, if they are taken seriously as stakeholders. Organizations like Solidarity and AfriForum remain vocal critics but also potential partners in dialogue. Ramaphosa's challenge is whether he can resist ANC factional pressure and reach across divides in a meaningful way. At its core, the Afrikaner Exodus crisis is not just about one group's discontent, it is a mirror reflecting South Africa's deeper cracks. If Ramaphosa fails to address it, the exodus may expand to include more skilled black professionals, young graduates, and middle-class families of all backgrounds. But if he succeeds, he might not only stop the Afrikaner flight, he could redefine his presidency as one of healing and rebuilding a nation that desperately needs unity. For now, the question lingers in the air: can Ramaphosa truly win them back, or is the Afrikaner exodus a point of no return?